afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Captain's Corner. This is a great turnout here for the afternoon. We're looking forward to seeing you, of course, and welcome to this wonderful afternoon opportunity for you to answer any, for us to answer any questions that you may have. Of course, this being the Captain's Corner, I'd like to introduce you to our panel that we have up here on the stage. First gentleman coming out is in charge of the largest division on board the ship. That is the food and beverage operations. He comes to you from Romania. How about a nice hand for Catalin? Catalin coming on out. And the next gentleman is in charge of the entire technical operation of the ship, of course, that being the engine room and all of the technical operations. He comes to you all the way from Croatia. How about a nice hand for your chief engineer, Ivo? And of course, the master of the harmony of the seas. Please welcome our wonderful captain, Captain Gus! Yellow.
And of course, our one and only, the amazing cruise director, Abe.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Captain. Although I'm feeling a little bit out of sorts right now, so if you just hold on just 1 second.
Where did you steal those?
I found them in the laundry room. All right. Very, very good. Well,
okay. All right. Well, you never know what you're going to end up in the laundry.
Exactly.
Well, wow. Thank you so much for coming here, everybody. Nothing better to do than an Atlantic crossing than coming here listening to some sailors telling sea stories. And as Abe said here, you ask the questions and we will answer them. If we don't know the answer, we'll make it up, and I'm sure you won't know the difference.
If you say it with confidence, it's true. That's right. We have a couple of our cruise director staff out there in the audience. If you do have any questions, raise your hand nice and high. We're going to get to as many people as we possibly can here this afternoon. We do have a rehearsal coming up a little bit later, but that's okay. We're going to get through as many of you as you possibly can. If you have a question, raise your hand nice and high. Any questions or nice compliments as well, that's always taken. And let us know what is your name, where you're from, and if it's the question is directed at any individual up here on the stage or just for the group. So coming over, yes, right over here.
Hi, I'm Karen from Chicago, and I'm a huge Cubs fan. What is the chance that we can go faster so that we can get to U.S. satellite before 9 o'clock tonight?
Well, if you're a Cubs fan, are you really sure you want to go there?
Okay, I'm changing my evaluation.
Yeah, let's turn around and go back to Europe. The chances, I don't know exactly when we're going to start to get the sports and the news from the US. What is Game 7? Will it be a Game 7?
There is a Game 7. Tonight at midnight. At 9 o'clock? Oh, 9 o'clock. You know what I'm going to do? I am personally going to wrap myself in tin foil, go up to the top, and I'm going to beam your own antenna and try and just...
That's not much of a change, though.
And if come on, Captain, not this early in the show. All right. But as you know, as most people have been doing, is actually streaming the game and things like that online, because we do have the great internet on board, so we'll roll a little faster. All right, listen. All right, next question, yeah.
I'm Ken from Canada. I want to know why the swimming pools are filled so high that the water overflows all over the deck.
That's a first.
Yeah, well, if we pump it up, you will probably ask why we don't have any water in them. We do have obviously a bit of water that is going over the side depending on how much we are rolling. We're trying to minimize the rolling, of course, with the stabilizer and such. And the system that we have here is a certain level that we need to have in order to get the circulation through the tanks. That's a layman's term. I'm sure that the chief engineer can talk a little bit more about the different levels and stuff. But that is pretty much the reason why we have it on a full and not a half empty or half full. The glass is half full. This is really full. You have something to add there?
That's correct. We have two levels, high and low levels. If you put low level, you'll be complaining that is why is so much water in the pool. This level is okay, a little bit overflowing, like on the beach at home. Almost the same.
All right, right back here.
John. I'm John from Tampa. I'd much rather have not said that because I don't know if I'm going to be escorted off the ship. But I read your facts here, and then I'm going to compare against some of the other ships I've been on. You claim to be serving 18,000 pounds of potatoes per week. Why can't we get a baked potato?
Abe, you want to take that?
That is why we invited Catalin, the food and beverage director.
Well, hello everybody. Well, we know it's a crossing, and we know that we have we have new menus that the ship is experiencing and launched. And for those of you that are repeaters, I'm sure you have noticed this. Definitely, we have our consumption patterns, but we have noticed a huge increase in baked potato consumption this cruise. So it's not that we plan for it, but yes, we do have a certain shortage of baked potato on board. So we don't need to disappoint you, but it's the reality. So taking in consideration, we need to carry provisions for all these days at sea that we're going towards Miami. We try our best to make sure we have our consumption patterns, and there's yes, we have a little bit of a shortage, yes. But we do have all other kinds of potatoes. So we have French fries, we have mashed potatoes, we have all other kind of potatoes. So yeah, that's the reality at the moment.
So can I get baked mash?
Yes, we'll
I can get baked mash. Okay, thanks. I'll have that for dinner tonight.
All right, right over here.
I'm Wendy from New Jersey. I just wondered, how do you determine who is lucky enough to get an actual lifeboat and who gets to go down the slide to the marine evacuation system?
What kind of stateroom do you have, ma'am?
A balcony?
Yeah, wrong company, wrong century, and definitely wrong ship for that, ma'am. We have enough lifeboats and survival craft, plus 25%, which is the requirement for all ships that you have to have extra. And the lifeboats are carrying 370 people, and as some of you then have counted, that we have 18 of them. We have 5,500 people on board, roughly on the guest side, and 2,200 in the crew, or just under, on this cruise. And then you make the math, and you see that we have enough on the lifeboat and survival crafts. We take 9,000 people, maximum capacity persons on board, and we have close to 12,000 seats in the survival crafts, which of course includes the MES, which is Marine Evacuation System, which is basically a raft that you would have to go into via a chute, similar to the Abyss, but a little softer landings. So that is what we have. So most people, of everybody, would go into the lifeboats, and then we have a few that would go into the life rafts.
Or you could do what I'm going to do, and that is based on the movie, go find the wooden door. Because according to the Titanic movie, the wooden door is how you survive. You stay on there and there's only room for one.
Yeah, that didn't put a somber note to anything here.
Right over here.
Or a piano cover.
Hi, Captain. Denise from Colorado Springs. I saw you the other day on your scooter. Could you tell me about the manufacture and purpose of its use?
Yes, I don't know where you are now. Can you say? There. Okay, yes ma'am. Hi. Yeah, the manufacturer is a Spanish company that is called Bell & Bell, and it's made in Barcelona, and I'm sure that it's some kind of a rip-off of a Segway, but it's not a Segway. But the base looks like one, functions like one, but it is a different brand. And they call it a scooter, and Many of you know that Captain Johnny Fäverlin is my reliever, and he has been known to have a Harley-Davidson version called the Heist on one of the previous ships that he was on. But it was a little bit too noisy, a little bit too big, a little much of everything. So I said that I'm not a Harley guy at all. I'm not a motorcycle guy even. So I said I'm gonna get a scooter for the Harmony. And then he said, yeah, he got rid of the Heist, so we should go 50-50. And I said, absolutely. So then he searched a little bit for one here in Europe, or over there in Europe. I thought we could get one there in the US, but he was faster than me, so he got it. And I've had it on board now for about 2 weeks. Yeah, two and a half weeks, yes. The purpose of it is absolutely no reason whatsoever.
I'm trying to convince him for me to get a sidecar so I can go along with him.
And one day, Abe, you will get your own gig.
All right, right over here.
My name is Michael from York in the United Kingdom. Captain, this is a fabulously enhanced ship electronically, and the use of Royal IQ is terrific. However, I find it bizarre there's no news available on the TV. For future cruises, would either Britain Today, USA Today, Canada Today, etc. be available on Royal IQ, or alternatively in printed form?
That is actually a really good comment there, that we might actually have to look into, of getting it on the Royal IQ, on the news, at least the headline news somehow when we are out at sea. Normally when we go closer to the coast, obviously when we were in Europe we have the European news, and then when we come over to the US we have the US news. But it's also have to do a little bit with the satellite where they are broadcasting. The market in the Atlantic is very, very small for the TV satellites. And when it comes to the streaming, that obviously is possible. It has also a lot of impact when it comes to the rights of streaming and broadcasting it out. So that comes to a totally different level of what maybe could be considered to be legal in some parts of the world, but maybe not morally, ethically the right thing to do. But yes, absolutely, what you're saying there of getting some headline news on the Royal IQ and available for everybody, yeah, that could definitely be something we'll look into.
All right, very good. All right, over here.
This is Bill from Singer Island, Florida. This is for anybody on the panel. Do any of you, when you're not working, cruise yourself as a regular passenger? And if you did, what's the question you would ask at the cruise, at the captain's corner?
Catalin, you need to start on that one.
No, I didn't have the pleasure of cruising. That's a very good question, actually. And if I would ask a question, very good one. I need to think about it. I think we know everything inside out already. I don't think there would be any other question that we would ask. We've been personally, I've been working for this company for the last 18 years in different various positions. So I think I've been involved in a lot of experience with cruise lines. So I think your questions never cease to amaze us, and you are the ones that bring it up and you challenge us all the time on stage. So I don't think that we would be as good as you are, especially for me.
With 17 years, I sailed only as a crew member, and I will ask the same question as you ask us. Identical question.
For me, I have actually cruised a number of times. I enjoy it. My wife and I, we've celebrated New Year's on board the ships. We visited friends while we're on vacation. I absolutely enjoy it. And if to answer your question about what I would ask for another pina colada poolside, because I would not show up to this. Being honest.
Well, if I would go on a cruise, actually I would like to go on a cruise. I really enjoyed being up in Alaska when I was there with a Vision many years ago. And I would like to go back and not have to work, but actually be able to see all the nature and sit up at night and when we go through the different narrow areas. I'd also like to go in the Eastern Mediterranean and see the Greek islands. I've never been there. I would do it on a different company though. our sister companies, either the Asamara Club Cruises or with Celebrity, because if I would go on a royal ship, I think that I would not be able to switch off. And I would say the same. I have a lot of questions. I know some of the answers, obviously, but there's always a few things that things are being done differently on the different ships. So I would probably have hundreds or thousands of questions of how things are going, but probably not in a big setting, because I'm a little bit shy.
Right. Right on down here, third row, port side.
My name is Lou. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I enjoy your 12 o'clock briefings that you give us every day, and I just have some questions about how you determine a couple of things. First of all, some days you tell us the size of the swells, and my first question is, do you have an instrument that you use to determine the size of the swells, the height of the swells? And my second question is, last week when we came from the Mediterranean into the Atlantic, one day it was particularly rough. And I was just wondering, what were the highest swells we encountered on that particular day?
Well, we have wave radars on the ship. Not all ships has that, but we have it here. One of the reasons is because the reference ship, the Allure of the Seas, had that installed, and then the ship is building, or the shipyard is building the ship the same as the reference ship, if nothing else has been determined. So we got them sort of for free. Typically the third in class, or the first in class, would not get it with the wave radars. But otherwise, you would have to go and see approximately how big the waves are. And when we say the wave height, it is the significant wave height, which is the height of the highest, the average of the highest third of all the waves that we meet. But that is the average. So statistically, every 3,000 or so wave that we meet is twice as high as the significant wave height. And of course, if you're going into the waves, you meet a wave, let's say every 10, 12, 15 seconds or so. So you're going to count up to 3,000 quite fast. But if you're going now like we have, most of the time we have had the waves with us, or at least from aft of a beam. And therefore we don't meet so many waves. So every now and then we get a bit of an overhaul that you feel sometimes. And I must say that the weather that we have had, even the first couple of days out of Gibraltar, was absolutely fantastic. We have been really, really lucky with the weather. I take the weather that we have had any day, any time of the year going across the Atlantic. And now the last few days we have had basically like a pond, and sunshine and 25 degrees centigrades, upper 70s. And we've just been lucky with that. There are a couple of different ways to cross the Atlantic. One is to go the shortest, which is called Great Circle, which will take you up north. The further north you go, typically you will get worse weather with more wind. The more south you go, the longer the distance, but also you get a bit better weather. So I hope that you have enjoyed that we went the southern route here. So. And I think I've only mentioned the wave height a couple of times, and that's when it's been something to write home about. And I think that we have 10, maybe 12 feet waves then, so 3.5 meters on significant wave height. So obviously, once in every so often, you get some waves that are bigger, and then a lot of the times it's more than that as well. But I would say 10, 12 feet, maybe one that reached 15, but you feel it, and then that one is gone, and you don't feel it again for a while. So
good stuff. All right, right over here.
Hi, this is Mike from Florida. Question about cruises. I noticed at one time Royal Caribbean did have a cruise that sailed around the Horn. I don't see any out there now. Any future plans to do a South American around the Horn cruise? Not inadvertently like Abe did, but actually a planned cruise.
At this stage, I am not an expert in where all the ships will go. When I started in the company, we had very set ships. These were in Alaska in the summer, and these were in Europe, and then that one ship that was going around the world was Legend at the time. But now we have ships moving all over, and usually when we open up the sales, it's about 1 to 2 years in advance. I cannot say where all the ships are going now, but if you're interested, we still have the next cruise sales office on deck number 5, where you can go and ask, even if, well, of course I would like you to book one, but you can go and get information of where the different ships are going. But I don't have an answer exactly when or if we are getting anything back around the Horn. And it was a very nice run. I did it back in 2009 with the Marenic when we went around the Horn.
All right, next question right over here. Third row.
Ed from Tallahassee, Florida. Food and beverage.
That's what happened to our ketchup.
There you go. And the mustard. At the up there on the deck there next to Johnny Rockets, you have a very nice complimentary hot dog stand. But it's missing a little things we look for in the States. And one of them is big ketchup, big mustard, no onion, no sauerkraut, no relish.
Because you stole them all. You have them in the third row.
I got these from up on deck up there where the guys look for the whales. But anyway, any chance of, as you now are going to be doing the Caribbean grill, are you going to make that stand a little more Americanized with sauerkraut, chili, onion, relish? And these are a lot less expensive than those individual packets.
We know, and actually we're trying to become more efficient to get the pump ones that are more efficient. And yes, it's the same quality product, but Boardwalk has always been the concept of takeaway. So that's why we have the sashes next to the Boardwalk stand. In terms of Americanizing the product, yes, we will. We're looking into it, and yes, you're absolutely right. In terms of sashes, yes, I know peeling, but more or less it was for takeaway. That was one of the reasons that the Boardwalk hot dog concept was designed. But yeah, in terms of ketchup sachets, if we move to the pump, we would have to use a lot of disposables, like little cups, which right now we as a company, we're really very interested in making sure that we become as paper efficient as possible. So either way, we found that it's cheaper this way, and we're gonna, again, we need some pumps over there, yeah. But the concept of the Boardwalk is takeaway, so it's a kind of like, which one do we want? We want to stay there or we want to take away? So it was pretty back and forth. So, but yes, for the American market, yes, we'll try to bring more condiments, and it's a very popular concept actually. For the next ship, we're planning actually to extend the whole counter over there because guests really enjoy it. And at the moment, all the counters are full. We didn't expect it to be so popular, so it's really working out for us. We need to extend on it. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that Coney Island, that's my favorite.
All right. Right over here, over that.
My name is Jim. I'm from Washington, D.C. I heard mention that we had 5,300 guests on board. That's correct, I'm assuming. Of the 5,300, just get a few demographics out of it. How many are diamond or more better? How many are first-time cruisers? How many Americans? How many Europeans? So forth. Do you have those statistics available?
Yes. Yeah, we have 4,401, or we had when we started, repeaters, as we refer to them, they've been cruising with us before. We have about 2,600 that are diamond and up. How many that comes from different countries we don't really reveal, or we haven't revealed. We have about 70 different countries represented on board, and obviously a majority, or maybe not a majority, but at least a large percent are Americans. But it would be too long to just to tell all the different countries, but you know, about 75 or 80 of them as I remember, because I have it on the list up in my office.
And I'm the only first-time cruiser. Right over here.
Hi, Ben from Highland Beach, Florida. 3 questions, please. From a navigational situation, do you still shoot stars?
No, we catch them with nets.
You mentioned in one of the previous captain's corners that you brought out the Anthem or Quantum and this ship. Are you the senior captain for Royal Caribbean?
No.
And the third one is for food and beverage. I've sailed with Royal Caribbean for quite a few times now, and you always run out of chocolate ice cream and Splenda. Why don't you just order more Splenda and chocolate ice cream?
We didn't run out now, did we? No.
Oh yes. You haven't had chocolate ice cream in 4 days now.
Chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
I need to check on that. Splenda, I'm sure we didn't run out. And yeah, I need to check on the chocolate ice cream.
There's none up in Windjammer.
Okay. I'm gonna check.
And if I may then divulge a little bit further then on the shooting the stars. No, we don't do that anymore. We don't even have open bridge wings, as some of you may have noticed. So we have to go up into the deck 16 and up to shoot the stars in order to get the horizon. Speaking about stars, were you up looking at the stars last night? You have Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter, I think it is. Very, very close, and it's gonna be about right ahead of us if it's clear skies tonight. So go up and have a look at it. And no, I am not the senior captain at all with Royal, and I was part of the startup team, so I was a support captain for the Quantum and Anthem, and then the startup captain here. And there are different ways to be senior. You can be by age, or you can be with the different positions that we have. But in the old days, it used to be one of the most senior in time captains that were the startup captains in the fleet. For example, during the Voyager startups and the class of ships, and going back even further with the Sovereign class and Vision class. It's not like that anymore. There are different reasons why we put younger people in, but it's a little bit different settings of how it used to be. And I'm very happy to say that I hope that I get to stay here, and I will hand over that role to somebody else. We have had now, in the last 2 years, we have had 4 startup captains on the 4 ships that we have had to come out. So it's not the same team that goes around and do all of it. So I'm one of the 4 in the last 2 years.
All right, right over here.
Don from Orlando. I've had a mystery, it's been almost a year now, it's driving me crazy. And Captain, you're the only one who's going to solve this mystery for me.
The pressure.
Last Christmas I took my family to Prague. As we were checking out at the Marriott, I was sitting there, and a gentleman walks up to me and says, "Hi, how are you?" So I immediately stood up and to shake his hand, and I started looking up and up and up. And there was this gigantic Swedish guy, blonde-haired, good-looking guy. I said, "Do I know you?" And in his Swedish attitude said, "I don't know, do you?" So after speaking with him, he took off, and but before he did, he says, "Do you cruise?" I said, "Certainly." And he says, "Well, what cruise line?" I told him. I said, "We just, about several months ago, booked a new Harmony." And he says, "Oh, tell my cousin, Captain Gus, I said hi." And as he's walking away, I'm trying to get his name because he was in a hurry. I will tell you, he said his wife is from China, big man, blonde hair, and you're his cousin. Who in the world was I speaking with? I know he has to be working for Royal Caribbean, because on some of the ships, there's always an officer who served in the military, and they have a meeting with all the veterans on the ship. And I don't know if he was in the military or not, but he was there, and I remember at that time he said his wife was from China. So I'm assuming you know who your cousin is, or can you help me? It's been driving me crazy.
Ma'am, are you married? Yeah, he's gonna have to stay crazy. As far as I know, I have no cousin that is married to any Chinese person, and you know that you know the saying that everybody knows the monkey and the monkey doesn't know anyone. So yes, there might be some Swedish people that think or say that they know me, but in this case, unfortunately, I cannot help you. So that should teach you a lesson. You should not believe everything that people are telling you.
Mystery continues.
Sorry about that.
All right, right back here by the stairs.
I'm Thor from Finland. I have a question about time. I bought this nice watch that uses GPS to get the time, and I was very upset with it to begin with because it was all wrong. It was not showing the same time as the ship's time. So I spent the night on internet and Googled things, and I figured out that my watch is correct, the ship's time is wrong. So are you going to set the clock correctly before we reach Miami?
Sir, you're on vacation.
What brand is it?
Who cares?
If you pay $1,000 for a watch, you care.
Is it a Sunto? Well, of course, we are doing a little bit adjustment here on the times, and we have daylight saving time and all these kind of things. So by the time that we reach Florida, you will be fine for about 16 hours, and then you will go back to winter time or normal Eastern Standard Time. But then maybe it's automatic, and then maybe it happens, who knows. But yes, we are not exactly on the longitude where we should be, which very few countries really are in the world.
All right. Good fun questions here today. All right, third row, please, Robert.
Captain, I'm a former seaman. I'm from Israel. Regarding the boat drill, don't you think that it was better to bring all the people near their station just to see where they should go?
During the guest mustering exercise, you would like to have been closer to the lifeboat. Is that how I should interpret what you said? Yes. Well, there are a lot of different reasons why we don't do that. One is here we control the climate, always, and also the access to where the lifeboats and the MES are located on this ship. It's not very open spaces. And therefore, they would be really, really hard to have everybody going to a place that is close to a lifeboat. And just because you are in a muster station, that muster station is not equal that you go to lifeboat. We have named the different assembly stations here in a different way, but on other ships you have muster station 1 through 20 or something like that. That doesn't mean that you're going to go to lifeboat number 1 if you're in the muster station number 1. So that is not a correlating number at all. So if you're here, you may go to this boat or that boat or that boat, even if you're in the same station. Because some of the stations are much larger than what the lifeboat capacities are. So for me, this is much better. We have the opportunity in a lot of the areas to sit down during the mustering exercise, and if it would be for real, we probably would we would for sure have a much better control of the environment. And before we go, just because any ship is mustering the guests, there might be many different reasons why we're mustering guests. Not only to go down into the lifeboat, but there are some other reasons as well. And then having all the guests stand outside, it's just not possible to do that anymore. So I think that most people actually think that this is a fantastic idea to have it inside in the different assembly stations.
All right, next question over here. Where are we at? Oh, right in the dead center.
Yes. My name is Montes from Spain. I have a question for the chief engineer and another question for the captain. But first, I will congratulate to the master and his staff for this kind of meeting. And I apologize for my poor English. For the chief engineer, I have seen here that the propulsion system are 3 azimuths. I have seen in some big cruises, in this case, the 3 pods are azimuthal. I have seen in some other big cruisers that they have the center one without being azimuthal, and the wing one, they are azimuthal. Which are, or what is the reason to select in this vessel also the center propeller as azimuthal?
Thank you very much.
I'm still looking for the potatoes.
It was proven that all 3 azimuths, same without fixing pod, are more efficient and give more maneuvering for the captain. Easier to maneuver with 3 than with 2 is the reason, and more efficient than fixing pod.
And it also adds another layer of redundancy. If something would happen and we have to lock one of the pods in any direction, preferably that we can get the speed, you would still have 2 pods where you can steer the ship. If you would have to lock one where you have only on the wings, as you refer to them, the outer ones, then you leave to have one on the that is still working. So there are a lot of different things that makes it worth having 3 acid pods versus 2 acid and a fixed.
Thank you. But in normal sailing condition, the center one is fixed, or also you move as the wing?
No, they are in normal condition as we're out now. They are all synced. So if we move 1 degree, all moves 1 degree.
The 3 one.
All 3. When we are out at sea, when we are doing maneuvers, they turn as I see fit when I'm turning the controls for them. And then we can have them separate in any direction and any RPM setting.
Thank you. And now the question for you, Captain. Now it seems that the cruise market is improving. Well, for many years it's improving, every year. And I see that the shipyards, shipbuilders, I present this question to you because as far as I understand, you have a long experience in dealing with new buildings. So you have visited many shipyards that built cruiser vessels. Well, it seems now the builders of cruiser vessels are in Europe because some idea, some experience of Japanese people, they have been very poor. In Europe, we build cruisers, Italy, France, Germany, and Finland. And it seems also the German people is getting the property of STX Finland and STX France. It seems that it's on sale. I don't know if the French government will keep always, I don't know if it's 50% of property of Saint-Nazaire or not. But it seems that the shipbuilding of cruise vessel will be in all the world at the hands of Italian, because you explained the other day that your main competitors, they do prefer Italy, and Germany, because Meyerbeer, they have Germany and Finland. My question is, with the present rate of increase of the cruise market, these shipyards, in France, Italy, and Germany, will be sufficient to cope with the future demand?
No.
Thank you very much for that clear answer.
Yes, the cruise market is increasing quite a bit, and the order books are full in Europe. Some of our competitors have signed intentions to build ships outside of Europe, and I am sure that Royal is looking at all different kinds of options, as we do with everything. But there's nothing that has been released that we're going to go away from the three main shipyards that we are using now, which is in STX, where this one was built, Papenburg, where the Quantum class is built, and then of course we have Meyerwerft in Turku, as it now is called, up in Finland. So we have ships, a lot of ships on order. We have quite a few official, and I'm sure that we have more in the future that we cannot reveal much about at this stage. But it looks good for the cruise industry, definitely. And I don't think that if there would be another yard in Europe that would be able to build at the same quality as the other yard, I think that they would also very soon be filled up with orders. So no, I don't think it's enough of what the cruise market is not saturated yet.
All right. We have one. Where's Victor? Oh, way in the back center.
We're just about finished with the first change in deployment for the ship. Major changes in all the departments. Catalin has concerned about provisions and new menus and little things like chocolate ice cream as well, I'm sure. Abe and the captain and maybe chief engineer are auditioning for the new comedian gigs. But the planning must have started even when we were back in Southampton with all the changes and all the lead time and all the crew changes in the meantime as well. How do you put all that together?
Well, a lot of the things obviously have been planned a long time in advance. Some have come up with a very short notice on different things just by need of things that we have to do, and that's typically what ships and sailors are used to, that we handle the situation that comes up to us in necessarily the way that we had planned on going on plan A, but plan B maybe, or plan C or D or E. We have a lot of crew turnover. We had about 80 that signed off in the last turnaround in Barcelona, and we have about the same that are leaving on the 5th, and then we have quite a few that are leaving on the 8th as well. So there's a lot of planning that goes into this, and of course next week we have a lot of media coming on board. We have a lot of travel agents, and we have a 3-day short cruise, like a sampler, that is smack bang full with people that want to come on board, and maybe not necessarily for the visit to NASA where we're going, but actually to see the ship and to be the first one that comes on board in the US to see that. So there are a lot of different things that comes in, and we spoke a little bit here earlier about the American product. In Europe, we were an American product, English-speaking American product, but we had a lot of Spanish-speaking guests, a lot of German-speaking guests, and we have a lot of other cultures that are not necessarily appreciating, they don't have the same humor. Go to the US now, we have to change a few things of the food, of the entertainment, maybe a little bit more English-speaking entertainment. In Europe, it's a little bit less English-speaking. We put in a little bit of different comedian styles and things like that. So there are a lot of different things that goes into changing the whole product here for 6,500 guests from one part of the world to the next part. And of course the chief engineer needs to make sure that he has enough fuel. Do you have enough fuel?
Wow, to go back again, no problem.
Yeah, to go back again, excellent. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's continue this way. So yeah, there are a lot of different plannings that goes into place to do the shifting here.
All right over here. Oh, dead center. Oh, she's got a phone as well. She's recording this.
I am.
Say hello to Cruise Critic. Hey.
It's actually Periscope. So my name is Takesha, and I'm from Pennsylvania. And my first question is for the captain. Folks on Periscope wanted me to ask you whose idea it was to leave a pool out of the solarium.
Yeah, I spoke a little bit about that when I had the seminar about the building of the Harmony. And that was one of the first things that we got feedback on from our guest that came on board 6 months ago. And I forwarded this, the feedback to the new building team. Nobody can promise anything, obviously, but I know that they are aware of it. And a lot of the changes that we have made on this ship in comparison to the Oasis and the Allure is the feedback from our guests. Nothing is so good that it cannot get better. And when we started to get the feedback that we wanted to have an adult pool, then we made one of the outer pool adults only. So that part we could cover with the Plan B and Plan C and Plan D that we do. But of course we can just not have a blow-up pool or rig one there, because there are a lot of restrictions, like a lot of them, you know, public health and all kinds of different things that we need to have for it. But it is a point well taken, and who it was that said that we shouldn't have that, I have no idea.
Okay.
Yes.
So we think there'll be a pool on Oasis 4 and Solarium then? You can pretty much give a guarantee?
I cannot say any guarantees about any pools anywhere. I cannot guarantee anything on the Harmony 2, as she is referred to.
Okay. All right. Next question is for the Food and Beverage Director. Just trying to figure out, since we have that great hot dog stand out there, where's the Freestyle Coke machine? I noticed there isn't one on the Boardwalk at all.
Very good point. We've discussed this, and we're planning to bring more freestyle machines. They're very popular, and yes, for next Oasis, we're planning for Oasis 4, we're planning to put in the Boardwalk as well machines. Unfortunately, being an outside area, we still don't have one for the outside area, so the Coca-Cola hasn't designed it yet. Hopefully, when they have one for outside, we will definitely start to look at installing that as well in the area. But they need to be outside friendly. And it's all public health and everything else. But yes, very good point. Thank you.
Good stuff.
You guys have a lot of good feedback that we will bring back to our teams a little bit all over, so thank you so much.
All right, we have time for a couple more here. I know we could probably go all day long, but we do have a band rehearsal coming up. And right way in the back.
Diane from South Carolina. I just have 2 quick questions for the food and beverage. Curious, why do you use brown eggs?
Sorry, go again. Sorry.
Brown eggs.
Brown eggs as opposed to white
Those are
shell.
Spanish chickens.
Spanish eggs. No, we simple no reason. We have no reason. We like brown.
Okay.
Growing up on a farm, there's no difference.
There's no difference.
I know there isn't. The other question is the lemonade sugar-free?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, just curious.
Spanish chickens.
Bob from Port Charlotte, Florida. This is our 5th Oasis class cruise. We got the trilogy in. My question is, are we still going to rendezvous tomorrow with the photo op out in the Caribbean?
I hope not.
No! Or Friday.
Friday, yes. Friday, definitely.
Oh, was
yes.
no information. I lost the day.
Yeah, lost the day, yeah. Maybe you should try his watch.
Yeah, your clocks have been so screwed up. The television this morning, I got up at 7:30 and it said 0023 hours. I picked up the telephone because of Abe.
The telephone, it's always accurate.
Not quite, but anyways, thank you. And will we still have it?
So the 3 sisters meet, yes, absolutely. I can talk a little bit about that. And it's not a secret at all. There's nothing we have been hiding or anything. We will meet the Oasis and the Allure on Friday afternoon, around 4 to maybe 5-ish, something like that. 3:30, we should probably see them very clearly. And we're going to line up outside of Fort Lauderdale, and there's going to be some helicopters with photographers that we have hired for media shoots and PR. I'm sure that there will be other helicopters and other boats as well, because it's all over media, and everybody wants to come out and see this historical moment. And some of you may have been on the Oasis when we did it. I was on the Allure, and I must say I really liked the view that they had from the Oasis. On us? No? Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing, just 50% bigger. Many of you have seen the picture where the Oasis and the Allure is together, so we're going to do very similar, just add a ship.
And we will
a little bit bigger ship. You won't see the difference though on the picture. No, we arrive on the 5th in the morning, and it's going to be on Friday in the afternoon. Are we going to be all night with the sisters? Well, I won't. Oasis is heading up north to Port Canaveral, where she will be the following morning. Allure is going to NASA, where she will be the following morning, and we of course are going to go into Fort Lauderdale the following morning. So that's a once in a, I wouldn't say a lifetime, but I cannot really see this happening anytime soon, because there's been quite a few different things that needed to come into play to make this happen. Allure had to change their itinerary, for example, had to push up a little bit with Oasis, and of course we have to come in 12 hours earlier, give or take, in order to meet up there. So we have used a little bit more fuel than what we would have done otherwise.
Good stuff. One more here. Where do we have? All the way. Oh, yeah, all the way in the back. All right. No, are we good? Yeah. No question. All right, we've got another one right down. Do you have a microphone? No? All right. Oh, right over here. Yeah, come on.
Thank you for taking my question last.
It better be a good one.
I was told by the first-time cruiser that the captain didn't know where he was going and needed to be pointed in the right direction. Can you elaborate on that?
I say again that just because someone has a microphone in their hand, you shouldn't believe everything what they're saying.
I don't know who that first-time cruiser was. I think his name was Leroy from Boca. But anyway. Well, folks,
I'm sorry, I did have an actual question.
Oh,
for Harmony 2, these ships are absolutely gorgeous. And I've been on the Quantum class, and we've been on this ship. And the slides added on to this ship has been wonderful. The Abyss, I think, has just been a great add-on for the entertainment value of staying dry, too. The slides are great, but I have to say that the best entertainment really is the iFly on the Quantum class. And I thought, where would you put a Quantum, maybe, or an iFly, in the newer ships and put it in between both the flow riders and get rid of the bar up there? And I know it's an engineer structural issue and needs to be put on a newer ship, but from kids from 2 to adults to 100, they absolutely love it. I don't know if you've done it, Captain, but it is a great venue to have.
Okay, so I heard you doing about 54 statements, but was there a question? Will they do it on another ship than the Quantum class? If we could do it on an Oasis class, I mean, nothing is impossible, but obviously something had to be done to route the airflow in it as it's coming down, and it was quite deep as it was coming in there around. So I said nothing is impossible, but it's really tough to do it. And yes, I have done it. I was the captain on the Quantum and the Anthem. So yes, I've done it, and I agree with you. It's a fantastic experience. Is it Oasis class? At least not until now. But again, nothing is impossible to happen. But it will probably take a lot of work to get that done. So probably not in the near future, at least. But thank you for your comment about how fantastic everything else has been.
Thank you very much. Well, I think we got about every single question except for when does the captain wear boxers or briefs, you know?
Yeah, you really want to know that?
I'm good.
Commando. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in today. And yes, we have a couple of more days, and we're not done yet, ma'am. So please don't rush. We have a couple of more days before we say goodbye. But I want to say thank you for coming here today, and of course cruising with us here. And now it looks like they're gonna start preparing. So thank you so much. Have a good day. See you on the ship. And for now, bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you go, I just would like to say thank you. How about a hand for Catalin, for our Chief Engineer Ivo, and for Captain Gus. Not only are they working hard, but they're working hard in front of the house for all of you. I think pretty much they've done it all except for play with the band. So thank you very much.
Can I play with the band?
Can't play with the band.
Why not?
Because we have professional, you're a captain, professional musician.
So I'm not a professional. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say you're a musician.
They're even preparing it. I want to play with the band. Can I play with the band?
You're not going to play with the band.
Yes, I'll play with the band.
No.
I don't want to play with the band.
You are the captain. Whatever. Do it. Do you even know what to play? Do we have a triangle?
Oi. Tuba? No, it's too big. There's just. Can I use the? Okay. No, I'm not so cool that I can play the drums.
Can you sit down for a minute, please? Thanks.
This ain't working.
You asked for it.
Oh, what is it? Here it goes, the jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for coming out to the Captain's Corner. You've been a wonderful audience. Captain Gus, Ivo, Food and Beverage Director, thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon here on board our beautiful Harmony. Bye, everyone.